Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are rising higher this morning, with S&P futures up 0.42%, Dow futures up 0.44%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.38%. Markets have been boosted this morning due to strong economic readings and earnings reports. Thursday's rebound, fueled by better than forecasted jobs claimless data, helped give a rise in contracts on key U.S. benchmarks. Treasury yields and the dollar have remained nearly unchanged, while gold continues around the highest level it has in more than 4 months. Elsewhere in markets, Brent oil has advanced amid its biggest weekly decline since March. Over in Europe, equities moved higher after data showing a recovery in the region, led by services and luxury shares. Over in Asia, Hong Kong's Tencent holding slid after pledging a sharp boost in investment. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, Shane, and they really have been just, upticking. So it's really looking like a good, solid opening today. I feel like this whole aspect of the elevated inflation figures that we've seen, the market's kind of digesting that. It understands that this could be very temporary. Today we've got a number of key economic reports on manufacturing and housing data that's likely to help push the markets higher. In addition, you have a lot of Fed speak going on. The one caveat here is that one of the guys doing most of the Fed speak is Dallas Fed Bank President Robert Kaplan. He's really the guy out there a lot these days. This is his sixth speech of this week, and he's really for starting the tapering a little earlier. So we got to pay attention to his talks and the effects on the market. You also got to remember that today is option expiration, which may create a little volatility. I'm looking over in Europe. The averages are slightly higher. Automobile stocks are gaining. Basic resources stocks are moving lower. They came out with some nice PMI flash report this morning. So, those numbers were good. They came in at 56.2, but they were less than the 57.1 read that the markets were expecting. But overall, the 56.2 read is very strong. You look over in Asia, Nikkei was strong. Hong Kong and China were a little weak. The Chinese markets really are betting on additional government stimulation to come next month, really as an expectation or a reaction to the disappointing retail sales figures that recently came in. But, I'm really, keeping my eye on earnings. That's really where my focus is these days. And there was a lot that came out last night and this morning.
Well, moving into earnings to watch today, AMAT did well. Bill, tell us about it.
Yeah, AMAT did very well. You talk about AMAT, they came in with a 12-cent beat on higher revenue. That was a nice earnings report from AMAT. You look at Decker Outdoors, that's ticker DECK, David Edward Charlie Kilo. They beat by 54 cents on higher revenue. Palo Alto Networks, this was a big surprise. PANW, Paul Apple, Nancy William. They beat by 10 cents on higher revenue. Ross Stores, ticker ROST, they beat by 46 cents on higher revenue. John Deere, that's ticker DE, David Edward, they beat by $1.16 on higher revenue. And Foot Locker, you know what? They beat by 87 cents on higher revenue. These retailers are really coming in with a lot of positive earnings results these days.
Bill, give us some insights as far as upcoming earning announcements.
Toll Brothers, home builder, ticker TOL, Tom, Oscar, Larry. They're reporting Tuesday after the close. They had a call put ratio of 4.19 yesterday. They're priced for a 6% move. Now, the EPS there is 80 cents, but the housing market has been very strong from all the building supply manufacturers. You see that they've been beating estimates. Home builders had a good quarter last year, so keep an eye on Toll Brothers for their earnings report next week. Cracker Barrel, that's ticker CBRL, Charlie Boy, Richard Larry. They're also reporting, but they're reporting Tuesday morning. Price for an 8% move. The call put ratio is negative here. You're talking 0.09, not strong at all. Got to watch those numbers to see if they change at all, but their expected EPS is 26 cents. Snowflake is also releasing next week. They're priced for a 10% move. They're coming out Wednesday afternoon. EPS there is for a loss of 15 cents. Salesforce, that's ticker CRM, Charlie, Richard, Mary. They're priced for a 5.5% move when they release Thursday afternoon, and their EPS is expected to be 88 cents. But those are next week earnings that I'm seeing.
Moving into economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing there.
9:45, the PMI composite flash that's coming out. That's an early report, so that's going to be a big one. 10 a.m., the existing home sales. That's going to be one that's going to move the markets as well. And at 1 o'clock, you get the Baker Hughes rig count. You look at oil. Oil's trading a little higher yesterday. It actually broke $62 a barrel yesterday. Not good. Oil prices are kind of bearish right now. And the reason why you're seeing bearishness in oil is because, the supply is getting greater. Saudi Arabia has recently said that they increased their monthly supply by like 500,000 barrels per day. And you have Iran. There was negotiations with Iran, seem to be completed. They're just working on some minor details, but those sanctions on Iran are likely to be lifted. And when they're lifted, Iranian crude oil output will be added to the world market. You're going to be adding more supply. The question is, will demand cover it? The Iranian supply probably won't hit the market till midsummer, but still, that's more production, and I don't know if there's going to be demand there to cover it, which is why you're seeing, in general, weaker oil prices as of late.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Foot Locker, ticker FL. Foot Locker announced that it is taking action in partnership with its suppliers to position its store fleet for the future. So in the second quarter, the company decided to convert approximately 1/3 of its Foot Action stores into other existing banner concepts over the course of the year. To focus on growth on its other banners, the company will close the majority of its remaining Foot Action stores as leases expire over the next 2 years. Foot Locker share price is up 4.86% in pre-market. In other news, Fisker, ticker FSR, is developing an all-electric vehicle, which will be a singular version of the Ocean model for Pope Francis and plans to deliver to him by next year. In other news, Tesla, ticker TSLA, some staff members at the government offices in China have been told not to park their Tesla vehicles inside government compounds due to security concerns over the cameras. So just more negative news coming from China on Tesla. In other news that was positive, Elon Musk said in a tweet yesterday that Tesla will hold a delivery event at the company's Fremont factory on June 3rd for the Model S Plaid. He also stated that the model is the fastest production car ever, accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. Tesla's share price is up 1.91% in pre-market. News on AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. Its COVID-19 vaccine has been granted special approval for emergency use in Japan for active immunization of individuals 18 and older. AstraZeneca's share price is up 0.52% in pre-market. Another vaccine maker that received the same special approval in Japan was Moderna. Moderna, ticker mRNA, is exploring potential production of its COVID-19 vaccine in Asia, and it's having ongoing discussions with several countries, including Japan. Moderna's share price is up 1.58% in pre-market. News on KKR, ticker KKR. The company has agreed to buy John Lang Group for about $2.8 billion. KKR share price is up 1.08% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, cruise lines are getting back to work. Both Carnival's All in America line and Princess Cruise Line plans to restart cruising to Alaska from Seattle starting as early as July 2021. So coming up very soon. Carnival Cruise Line's share price, ticker CCL, is up 1.45% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I really break my news alerts down into specific segments. I'm looking for specific events. I'm looking for specific sectors. And just by reading this news, you can really get a jump on and an early start before a lot of price action is unveiled in these stocks. I'm looking at my FANG alert. I see Google. Apparently, Google's going to open their first ever permanent retail store in New York City in the coming weeks. Now, this is a bet that the physical retail presence can really help showcase and sell its products. This is what Apple did. So Google's really taken a page out of Apple's book. They're going to be trying to sell their products such as, Pixel phones, Nest, smart thermostats, and Fitbit wearable devices. They're going to be offering repair services as well. So it's kind of a new venture for Google, but I think it's going to have a positive effect on the overall stock. I look at Snap, and Snap, has really been doing good. They apparently they just achieved 500 million monthly active users. I also see that there was a deal between Snap and Poshmark, that's ticker POSH. Poshmark jumped 8.3% this morning after announcing this deal with Snap. So it's showing you the power of some of these social media companies. I saw that story on Tesla about the Chinese government. It's really due to the cameras. I mean, tell me what vehicle doesn't have a camera. It's kind of nonsense, but I understand why they do it. Going over to my Dow Jones 30 alert, I look at McDonald's, and apparently there's some lawsuits against McDonald's. And it's accusing them of racially discrimination ad spending. They're being sued for about $10 billion, saying that they're not spending enough with Black-owned media outlets, according to the news report. I see Honeywell's, had this nice note from JP Morgan's today saying Honeywell's growth is really, truly underappreciated. Apple, ticker AAPL, CEO Tim Cook, he's going to be on the witness stand for Apple, in that Apple Epic trial that's going on. So he's going to be the star witness. One other thing on JP Morgan, I see JP Morgan is announcing that they're going to be, creating a new unit to work on healthcare initiatives. Remember, they were in that deal with Berkshire Hathaway where they were trying to create their own new health club, their new health charter. Didn't really go anywhere, so now they're going to try and do it on their own. The unit's going to be dubbed Morgan Health, and it's aimed to create a model of employee-sponsored healthcare that results in better and more equitable care at a lower cost. I find it interesting, you were talking about that EV vehicles, and I've been watching the volatility data in the electric vehicle space, and for the most part, it's really interesting. You look at Tesla, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 53. The 52-week range of Tesla is 52 to 130. You look at STLA, Sam, Tom, Larry, Apple, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 34, whereas in the 52-week range is 28 to 81. I notice here the call put ratio is 52 calls to 1 put, with a focus on the January 22.5 calls. NEO, ticker NIO, Nancy, India, Oscar, the 30-day option implied volatility is 60. You look at the 52-week range of 56 to 216. Lordstown Motors, this is ticker RIDE, RIDE. 30-day option implied volatility is 138. Compare that to the 52-week range of 96 to 176. It's kind of in the middle, but you got to remember, RIDE has a big event that's coming out in June. It's kind of like a showcase event where people are going to be coming to their factories for factory tours and test drives of their vehicles. Another important, interesting thing in the electric vehicle space is Uber and Lyft. California's clear air regulator on Thursday adopted new rules to mandate that nearly all trips in Ubers and Lyfts in the ride-hailing platforms, they have to be done in electric vehicles over the next few years. Now, this is the first regulation by any U.S. state, but it really shows you the drive that the states are going to have to show the importance of electronic vehicles in the very near future. Events today, Honeywell, ticker HON, Harry, Oscar, Nancy, they're having their annual shareholders meeting, and it starts at 10:30. DGX, David Grace X-ray. This is Quest Diagnostics. This is where everybody's getting their COVID tests. They're having their annual shareholders meeting today. That also starts at 10:30. And Macy's, ticker M, as in Macy's, their annual shareholders meeting starts today at 11 a.m. In terms of guidance, Ross Stores, ticker ROST, they announced their EPS is expecting the new range. It's expected to be 80 to 89 cents. The estimates they had previously for $1.03, that's pretty light. AMAT, that's ticker AMAT, Apple Mary, Apple Tom, adjusted EPS is now expected to be in the range of $1.70 to $1.82. The previous estimates were $1.56. That's a big beat for AMAT. And John Deere, that's ticker DE. Remember, they reported this morning and the company raised its full year profit forecast and posted a 169% surge in quarterly profits. This shows you that the global recovery is happening and the demand for farm machines and construction equipment is there. The company now expects net income for 2021 to be between 5.3 billion to 5.7 billion. The previous guidance was 4.6 to 5 billion. So this is a big jump higher for John Deere, ticker DE.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking Fisker, ticker FSR. I picked them earlier in the week. I'm picking them again. Why? Because they got more of a buzz surrounding them. So they had a whole meeting over in the Vatican just this week and just confirmed this vehicle they're making for Pope Francis. It sounds like he's going to have the first of their ocean models. So that's kind of just more hype around this SUV that's going to be coming out very soon. And all the partnerships they've been doing, like the one they made with Foxconn, moving forward with this, it's a lot of good moves. And this is something I could see pushing them up to possibly $13.10 at the high today. They're a little bit high right now in pre-market. Maybe it's something we want to wait for at the open to see if there's a little bit of market weakness, but I would expect towards the end of the day it's going to go higher. That's my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Honeywell, ticker HON, Harry, Oscar, Nancy. The key catalyst here is this conference call today, at 10:30. The option volumes were active specifically at the 2:30 strikes yesterday. I do think this thing's going to run. You look at it, it's up, in the pre-market. The S&Ps are going. The majority of the Dow stocks are in the green. You saw that positive note that came out from JP Morgan saying Honeywell is undervalued. I think there could be something very positive said at that meeting, the annual shareholders meeting today at 10:30. So around 10 o'clock, I can start to see the stock really start to uptick, and I think it will hold the gains for the day. So my pick for today is Honeywell, ticker HON, Harry, Oscar, Nancy.
Moving into what's hot off the press, talking about the news that's hitting the tape as we speak, that's going to be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Bill, seeing our headlines streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Carnival. I see something on Carnival here. That's ticker CCL, Charlie, Larry. Apparently, the cruise line is budgeting for extra costs as they prepare to restart their sailing cruises.
Stock to watch, John Deere, ticker DE, is up 1.5% in pre-market after its quarter 2 earnings beat.
Here's one on Biogen. That's ticker BIIB. They did a deal with Ginkgo Bioworks to develop a novel gene therapy manufacturing platform. The vols are really high here. There's something happening in June with ticker BIIB. A little cautious there, but keep an eye on shares of BIIB. This licensing agreement is positive news.
One on Netflix, ticker NFLX. A U.S. survey on Netflix results showed that there was some softness, said some Evercore analysts. That 1,700 respondents of a U.S. survey on Netflix showed some softness, noting that 55% of subscribers said they were extremely or very satisfied, which he said is a setback from the low to high of the 60% range seen over the last several years.
Here's one on Amazon. Amazon's getting some FTC prodding to restrict these fake reviews schemers that are going on out there.
Other news on Tesla, ticker TSLA. Its superchargers is one of the Fastnet's partners in building and operating fast charging stations for electrical vehicles at Energy Super Hub Oxford in the UK.
Here's one on Twitter, TWTR. They're going to be presenting at the JP Morgan Global Technology and Media and Communications Conference on May 25th. And Twitter's going to be starting to roll out their new verification application process. That's going to be starting today.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Thursday. I had Applied Materials, ticker AMAT. It opened at $126.81 and closed at $130.31. Really just from open to close, Just nice gradual gains, no dips, all the way up. Anytime you would have got in, you would have gained. And it ended up closing with a 2.76% gain. Today in pre-markets, up another 1.15%, probably a little bit higher now. So just a really good pick all around. A good move for us. Great earnings. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
I did Foot Locker, and it was an earnings play, and they really came in with a nice, impressive numbers, just like all the retailers did this week. They all came in with real strong numbers, and the market continued to just crush them when they came out with good numbers. I mean, Foot Locker yesterday opened up at 61.55. They had a high of 61.65, but they closed at 59.70. The good news here is that they delivered a very solid beat. You look at the stock this morning and it hit a high of 62.37. It's back at the 61.50 level. So it was flat. It just didn't have the momentum that, you really were expecting, based on the models that we have that's predicting stock price movement. So it was flat. That's all I can say.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.